Welcome to the Solid Signal podcast for the last week of February 2017. Wow, beginning to move fast. The subject of this week's podcast is Yes, I Was Right, and stop telling me I was wrong. I don't know how I'm going to spin that. I'll probably create a better title for the actual podcast, but that's kind of what I have in mind. And I know it makes me sound a little bit arrogant and spiteful, and I apologize for that. But I've been getting a lot of messages the last couple of days about a very small article that's appeared in Yahoo News and others, explaining that the FCC is now going to allow ATSC 3.0 broadcasting, and that means the potential for over-the-air 4K. Now, if you've been reading the Solid Signal blog, you know that I'm not a big fan of the idea that there will ever be over-the-air 4K broadcasting. As a matter of fact, I've written a number of articles on it, and some of them have been well received, some have not. But when it comes right down to it, I believe that there will never be a largely 4K broadcast space. I don't believe that televisions will have 4K tuners. I do not believe that there will be 4K local broadcasting. I do not think any of it is going to happen that way. And the recent FCC decision does nothing to change my mind, and I'll explain why. A lot of people have been saying, you see, he's making everybody go to ATSC 3.0. We'll all have 4K pretty soon. No. What the FCC is doing is allowing, and you see, not encouraging, not requiring, allowing broadcasters to optionally set up test facilities for 4K broadcasting. I have no doubt that some broadcasters will try this, and that there will be some tests out there, and that there will be some hardware out there. But let's compare this to what happened in the 2000s, the change that actually got us to where we are today with HDTV. At that time, the FCC required new digital tuners to go in place. They required broadcasters to start using the new digital system. They required consumers to get a $50 converter box credit, and they spent billions of dollars on this, at least millions anyway. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's tons and tons of money was spent on the converter box program, is my point. And all of these were congressional and FCC requirements. It took laws, folks, to make this happen. And it wouldn't have happened otherwise. If it hadn't have been for these laws, we'd still all be using tube televisions with analog broadcasting. We wouldn't have HDTV, and that's why we're not going to have 4K TV unless the FCC recommends to Congress, and Congress makes a law that requires 4K capable ATSC 3.0 tuners in every television, that requires some sort of transition process, that requires at some point all broadcasters move over to ATSC 3.0. And I don't want to sway political here, folks, but this is just not going to happen in the current political climate. This is not what the current president and the current Congress are about. They're not going to add regulations. They're not going to add requirements. If anything, they're going to take them away. And you would need an absolute act of Congress to make this happen. Now, I could see sometime in the future, perhaps a year from now, the ability to buy an ATSC 3.0 tuner and take advantage of some of those 4K broadcasts. But is it going to show up in every television? I doubt it. Maybe it'll get to the point where it's cheap enough that they put it in and nobody cares. That could be 5 to 7 years down the road. I don't know. But that doesn't mean there's going to be 4K content out there, not over the air. I think there is a future for 4K, and it's from satellite, and it's from cable, and it's from streaming, and none of that has anything to do with the FCC's recent notice of proposed rulemaking. That only affects over-the-air television, and over-the-air television, folks, is a tightly regulated, tightly restrictive thing that this rule is letting them change a little bit. But it has nothing to do with the way that anything else goes. And that's why 4K over-the-air broadcasting it's not going to happen. It's just, there isn't a demand for it. There isn't a want for it. There isn't where people are just clamoring to go ahead and spend another $1,000 on a new TV that'll give them exactly the same thing except for one capability. Things haven't changed. Bottom line. I appreciate everybody who has come to me and said, hey, you were wrong, because I like the discussion. I like when we talk about that stuff. when we sit back and look and see how things are going to be, and we argue about that. That's the great thing about the Solid Signal blog, is we get intelligent people together and we discuss things. But I got to tell you, I'm really steadfast here. I want to hear from you. Leave a comment if you think I'm totally wrong, if you think I'm full of it, and tell me why. Because I want to be convinced. I would love to have 4K over-the-air television. I just don't think it's going to happen. So the ball is all in your court, my faithful listeners. I hope you have a great week, and leave me plenty of comments.